Hey guys, pardon my appearance. We're going to be doing a full day concealer wear test today. And since I was getting ready, I was still in my robe. So anyway, here we are. Oh, and this robe is new. I think in one of my live streams or maybe in one of my videos, I asked you guys about robe suggestions or robe recommendations because I had gone through a few of them and I don't know, the length wasn't right or the material was too heavy or the material was too light. Anyway, I went on this whole long robe search and I got this probably like before the holidays and I love it. I'll link it down below, but it is like organic cotton. So there's that cushiness, but it's still like light. It's not like it doesn't like weigh me down, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And also here in Vegas, it's not that chilly for too long out of the year. So I really like this one. I like the like herringbone that it has here. I like that it's like set in sleeves, so it's not too like sloppy, droopy. Oh, and it also has, I don't know if you guys can see, but it also has pockets, like 2 pockets, which are key. It's generally why I wear a robe or a hoodie or something, because I just need pockets. So anyway, well, that was quite a tangent. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to be doing a full day wear test of the new Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I'm very, very excited. I have it in the shade Cotton, and if I remember correctly, I think it's the 3rd one from the bottom in terms of light to dark. I purchased this in store at Sephora and I remember looking at the display and it really looked like the colors were kind of staggered. Like they kind of started kind of neutral and then there's like a pink and then neutral and then like a pink. So that's what the colors kind of look like to me. I don't know if that's going to help you at all if you want to order this online. And like when I started with the cream color, which is the one that's lighter than Cotton, that one has like a little bit of a pink cooler undertone. And then I went to Cotton, it was like a little bit warmer, a little bit more neutral. And then I went to the one a little bit deeper than Cotton. That one again like turned kind of pink cool. Okay, so I have 0 makeup on right now. I generally wear concealer over my foundation, so I think that's just what I'm gonna do, at least for this wear test. If it doesn't work out or for whatever reason I feel like I need to keep experimenting, I'll do so and kind of do a follow-up. But this is what the packaging looks like. It looks just like their Unreal lip gloss, except that this is like a frosted plastic tube here instead of the clear, like normal clear tube that the lip glosses have. The lip glosses also have a different color for the cap. It's more of like a gold tone, and this is like the Hourglass, if you can see that kind of like shiny mahogany color. The wand also very, very similar to the lip gloss. So if you have the Unreal lip gloss, it's pretty much the same. It's like paddle shaped, you know, it's like flat, and then it kind of comes to not a pointy point, but it gets pointier at the top there. So here is a swatch of Cotton. And what I also noticed, at least in some like pictures that I saw, the concealer actually looked like it had a little bit of radiance to it. So it's hard to tell in the swatch. It's definitely very difficult to tell, you know, in the tube, but I am very, very interested in seeing like how much radiance it has actually on the skin. So I'm going to use like a light medium base. I got the Lemare Tinted Sunscreen. This is in the shade Light 02. And I chose this because I feel like if I use a foundation with fuller coverage, you're really not going to be able to tell like what the coverage is like for the actual concealer. So we'll put a light layer of this on and then we'll put the concealer on. So let me go ahead and just apply this quickly. And I have no primer down for no reason other than I forgot to put it on. So I was reading online that this is like a medium full coverage concealer, that you don't need a lot of it. They recommend using like maybe 3 dots underneath each eye, which is generally how much concealer I put on, so that's great. They also recommended pretty much any tool to use to kind of like blend it in, brush, fingers, or sponge. So I'm gonna use one side with my finger. That is sometimes how I like to blend in concealer. So let's go ahead and apply this to my right eye. So 1, 2, 3. We'll start there. The texture of this concealer is definitely light. It's not quite as thin as the Armani Power Fabric Concealer. It's a little bit thicker than that, but it's not thick. It's not like as thick as the Estee Lauder Double Wear. All right, that blended in quickly, nicely so far. I think that shade match is a good one. It does a little bit of brightening, which I like for my concealer. I feel like I need a little bit more, so I'm gonna just dab on just kind of down here just to add a little bit of brightening, because I feel like that still looks a little bit sallow. So yeah, now that I have a little bit more on, I think if you have a similar skin tone to me, this is definitely more of like a brightening shade, which I happen to like. But if you want something a little bit closer to your actual skin tone, I would go for something maybe 2 shades darker than this, or 1 shade if you want something a little bit more cool in tone. But I kind of like that, and you can see the difference, like huge difference between the brightening underneath here versus no concealer. And I definitely see some radiance going on there. There's definitely a little something in there. It's not bad. I think once I do set it down with some powder, it probably won't be noticeable at all. All right, let me just add a little bit to my lid. And blend that in with my finger. The texture is really, really nice. I like how like quickly it blends in. It's really, really beautiful. So far, I'm not seeing any accentuation of lines or anything. Yes, we've only had it on for about 5 minutes, but so far so good. I think on this eye, I want to go ahead and try a brush. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing and do about 3 dots under there. And I've got my favorite concealer brush. This is the Trish McEvoy 55 Deluxe Blender Brush. This is Sable Hair. And I'm just gonna go ahead, and I like to kind of pounce first and get the product spread out all over. Get it right underneath my lash line. And then I just blend out the edges. And Hourglass did release a new brush to go with this concealer launch. I didn't pick that up. I just have so many brushes, and I really do like this one for concealer. So that is available if you guys are interested. I did not pick it up though. I do think I actually like it with the brush a little bit more than my finger. I don't know. I just feel like the application is a little bit more even with the brush. Let's see what it's like on my lid. And I definitely agree that this is like a medium to full coverage. You really don't need a lot of this concealer. Like a little bit goes a long way, as you can see. All right, so there is the concealer. Wow, it is really light. I think once I get the rest of my makeup on, it'll look fine, but this is definitely brightening on the skin for sure. Yeah, I like the side with the brush better. I feel like it looks a little bit less thick than this side. This side doesn't look thick, it just looks thicker than this side. All right, and powder. So I generally like to set my concealer, but for the purposes of this wear test, I'm gonna go ahead and just powder one eye and leave the other eye unpowdered and just kind of see what happens. So I've got my By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder, and this is what I've been using to set my eyes, and I just like kind of pressing the powder in with my finger. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have a little bit in my cap here, so I'm just gonna use what I've got there, and I'm just gonna powder my right eye. So I'm just going to press and then just press a little bit underneath my eyes here. That definitely took down the radiance for sure. Yeah, I really like the texture of this concealer. It's not very tacky. I really like the way this feels on the skin. I like the way it feels to the touch. And yeah, so far so good. Oh, and just some particulars if you're curious. There are 0.2 fluid ounces in here, 6 mils. The ingredients, I think you can find the ingredient listing online, like on the Sephora site. There's a 12-month shelf life once the product has been opened. I believe this is cruelty-free. It has that Hourglass bunny icon there. Actually, I think that means it's cruelty-free and vegan. So that is awesome. And this was made in Korea. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting either Italy or the US for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm actually looking up the price now. I think it was either $34 or $36. Let's see. $34. And again, I purchased this in store at Sephora. But that's it for my initial application. I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. I got dressed finally. And strangely, it's been like an hour since I started to kind of finish up my makeup. I don't know. I had a hard time deciding on lipstick. Whatever. Anyway, so like a quick first impressions, not really a check-in. We'll be doing that a little bit later on today, but just wanted to give you like more of an update on the concealer. I think it looks fantastic so far. I think it looks great under my eyes. I do obviously have eyeshadow on, but I didn't put any highlighter on because I didn't want to kind of confuse the highlighter with any kind of radiance that maybe was coming through with the concealer. So I do have bronzer and blush, but no highlight. I do, however, have, unfortunately, a little bit of fallout from my eyeshadow down here and a little bit here. So it is 10:15 now, and let's go ahead and take a look at my check-in. Hey guys, so it is actually the end of the day. I won't be doing a check-in. I'm just gonna be doing this final check-in. It is about 5 o'clock in the evening right now, so I've had this makeup on for about 8 hours, and I would probably leave it on longer if I was feeling better, but I actually have come down with a little bit of a cold. So I just wanna, you know, wash my face and get into bed. I just wanna like crawl in and like pull the covers up and continue binge watching You. I don't know if you guys have been watching that. I just finished season 1 and started season 2 yesterday. I think I'm on episode 3. Yeah, I finished 2 episodes of season 2. It's good. It's not what I expected, and so it took me a little while to kind of get into it, and now I'm like really into it. And so far I feel like I like season 2 more than season 1. I don't know. Anyway, that's my plan after I turn this camera off, but I wanted to give you a final report on this concealer. So I didn't do anything crazy today. I did walk the dog, so I did go outside. Other than that, I've just been here working. I filmed a different video. I've just been sitting here getting like more and more congested and like sicker and sicker. So anyway, that was my day. This is the side that I put powder on. This is the side that I left alone. And in terms of like longevity, because I feel like, you know, powder really helps things stay put, I really don't think that this concealer needed it. I feel like this side, I still have the appearance of concealer just as much as this side. But I will say, I think both sides faded a little bit. I definitely don't feel like I have quite as much concealment going on. I feel like, let me see if I feel like I can see like the discoloration right here under my eyes, and that's kind of where I put like a little bit extra. So that's a little surprising. I don't think it's that noticeable, like the fading away. I do feel like, you know, there's still some concealment going on, but I definitely feel like the appearance of the concealer is not quite as prominent as it was when I first applied it. But other than that, I feel like it looks great. I feel like it's not emphasizing my line still, either the powder side or the non-powdered side. There's like no creasing or anything like that. I think the next time I try this concealer, I am not going to use powder. I think I actually like the unpowdered side more. I feel like it looks a little bit smoother. The powdered side, I feel like just looks like, I don't, it doesn't look bad. It just looks, it looks different. It looks like I have makeup on there, but it doesn't look heavy. It's just this side looks a little bit, just a little bit smoother, just a little bit more like filtered versus this side. I mean, it's so minute. It's something that I'm only noticing because I'm like inspecting my eyes. But I think I may try no powder on this concealer next time. So all in all, for this first full day wear test, a thumbs up. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I have not generally been the biggest fan of Hourglass like complexion products. I did not like that that latest foundation that they came out with, the Vanish foundation in the glass bottle and the pump. That did not look good on my skin. Their stick foundation I actually really liked, but then I discovered the Tom Ford stick foundation, and I've already decluttered the Hourglass. It just didn't really hold a candle to the Tom Ford. So I really didn't have high hopes for this concealer. So I am very, very pleasantly surprised at how it looks. I'm very, very happy with it. If you guys have tried this concealer and you have some thoughts on it, I would love to hear down below your experience with it. If it was the same as mine, or if it didn't work for you, I would love to hear that. And I'm sure other viewers would like to see your experience as well, if you wouldn't mind sharing that down there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.